You're lying in bed at 2 a.m., scrolling through your phone, thinking, tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll finally do it. But you already told yourself that yesterday, and a week ago, and 3 months ago. A new day begins. The sun rises. You wake up. And it's the same thing again. I'll handle my work first. I'll gather more experience, and then I'll wait for the conditions to be just right, and then I'll finally start. It feels like responsibility. It feels like wisdom. But in reality, it is the most common way your nervous system protects you from change. Its brain isn't against you. It's just incredibly cautious. Every new action, every step outside of your familiar patterns is processed by your system as an alarm signal. To your psyche, the unknown is synonymous with dangerous. To keep you safe from potential stress, your brain offers you a perfect strategy. Preparation. You accumulate knowledge. You plan. You analyze. This gives you the feeling of progress, but there is a significant problem. There is a massive gap between hoarding information and taking real action. You are waiting for the moment when the fear simply disappears, when you finally feel ready. But the truth is, that feeling of readiness is an illusion. Fear won't vanish, because it is an inseparable part of any process of change. You aren't standing still because you lack discipline or knowledge. You are standing still because your nervous system is trying to shield you from the vulnerability that inevitably arises when you do something that truly matters. You are waiting for life to give you a sign that everything will go smoothly. But life doesn't work that way. We get stuck in this cycle of preparation because it allows us to remain in our comfort zone. You lose nothing as long as you are just planning. You don't fail as long as you don't take the first step. But the price of this safety is the slow loss of yourself. You are not lazy, and you are not a coward. You have simply spent a long time trying to stay safe. And now, that mechanism of safety has become a wall you cannot seem to get past. We have identified where you are. Your wall is not a lack of talent, and it is certainly not laziness. It is simply your nervous system, which once learned to protect you very well, but now, that protection has become your prison. You've tried to convince your brain that you are safe, but words alone do not work here. Your psyche only understands the language of repeated, lived experience. Since we know this now, let's change the way you move. You are used to the idea that action must be grand, flawless, and permanent. That mindset is exactly what backed you into this corner. That belief system suggests that if you cannot change everything at once, you should change nothing at all. But what if you allowed yourself to be small? What if you gave yourself permission to move at a pace that doesn't trigger your internal alarm system? Instead of trying to conquer a mountain, just allow yourself to take one microscopic step. For example, instead of changing your career, you could just open one file. Just look at it. That is all. It's not about the result. It's about showing your brain, look, we did something, and no one punished us. The sky didn't fall. When you do something that small, you bypass the alarm system that usually blocks you. you gradually become a safe place for yourself. You've spent a long time judging yourself by results. I did well, so I'm good. I made a mistake, so I'm nothing. That isn't your true thought. That is just an old survival mechanism. Let's try to shift the focus. It doesn't matter what the result of your action is. What matters is that you allowed yourself to be seen. You showed up today. You took a risk by being imperfect, and that is already a victory. When you start to value your own presence in your life more than success or applause, the outside world will stop being a testing ground for your worth. You will finally become the author of your life, rather than a performer trembling before an audience, waiting for permission to exist. Maybe you finally need to see the truth. Your procrastination has never been your enemy. It has been your most loyal, though very clumsy, ally. All these years, while you were putting your life on hold, you were actually trying to protect the part of yourself that once believed that being seen was dangerous, that making a mistake meant losing love or approval. When you stop, you aren't lazy. You are a person who is subconsciously continuing to shield your inner child from the very pain it felt when it first tried to be enough. The true insight isn't in defeating the fear. The insight is that you have the right to be imperfect, because your worth is not something that needs to be proven through achievements. It has been there with you always, long before you learned how to build these plans and set these goals. When you finally accept this, you stop demanding perfection from yourself as a payment for the right to live. You aren't starting to act. You are simply allowing yourself to exist in this world, without the need to be constantly defending yourself. You are already significant. And from this point of silence, not from struggle, not from violence against yourself, but from a deep acceptance of your vulnerability, real action finally appears. You aren't pushing yourself into life. You are finally allowing yourself to be in it. You are already home. You are already enough. And this is the hardest realization, because it strips you of the need to be at war with yourself. Now, you can simply walk.